Fidel Castro ruled Cuba with an iron grip, but his private life was a maze of secrets. Officially, he had 8 children. In truth? Possibly 13. Some stayed loyal in Havana. Others vanished into exile. One became a dissident, another a millionaire playboy. And one rumor even claims a world leader carries his blood. So, where are Castro's children, and what are they hiding? Number 1. More than meets the eye, Castro's secret offspring. While Cuban state media officially recognized only 8 of Fidel Castro's children, insiders and biographers have long claimed the true number ranges from 10 to 13. His longtime lover, Natalia Revuelta, gave birth to his daughter Alina Fernandez, perhaps the most vocal of the siblings. Others, like Jorge Angel and Alex Castro, emerged later in life, their identities guarded. In a 1993 interview, Fernandez remarked, "Fidel had children the way he led his revolution, with secrecy and control." Some children were reportedly born during the 1960s and 70s from affairs with bodyguards, interpreters, and even revolutionaries. Why would a leader so obsessed with public image hide his own bloodline? Do you think Castro feared his children would one day betray him or outshine him? Number 2. Justin Trudeau, Fidel Castro's secret son? One of the most viral and controversial conspiracy theories of recent years is the claim that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is the secret son of Fidel Castro. While there is no confirmed evidence, the timeline and photographic comparisons have fueled speculation. Trudeau's parents, Pierre Trudeau and Margaret Trudeau, were close to Castro. They visited Cuba in 1976 during Pierre's term as Prime Minister, and Margaret reportedly maintained a flirtatious relationship with Fidel. In fact, when Fidel died in 2016, Justin's glowing tribute, calling him a remarkable leader, sparked backlash and intensified the rumors. Photos comparing a young Fidel and Justin have gone viral due to striking facial similarities, from their eyebrows to their jawline. Internet sleuths point out that Margaret Trudeau was known for her free-spirited lifestyle and traveled frequently, sometimes independently. Some claim she visited Cuba earlier than officially recorded. Skeptics dismiss the theory as nonsense, noting Justin was born on December 25, 1971, years before any known contact between the Trudeaus and Fidel. Still, for many, the physical resemblance and unusually warm diplomatic ties keep the rumor alive. Could the most powerful man in Canada really be the heir to Cuba's most infamous revolutionary? Number 3. Alina Fernandez, the rebel daughter who fled Cuba. Arguably the most famous of Fidel Castro's children, Alina Fernandez was born in 1956 to Natalia Revuelta, a Cuban socialite and one of Castro's early lovers. Raised in privilege but under surveillance, she fled Cuba in 1993 using a false Spanish passport and a wig. From exile, she launched fierce public attacks on her father's regime, describing it as a dictatorship of fear. Her 1997 memoir Castro's Daughter painted Fidel as a distant, paranoid father. Alina has since lived in the US and Europe and called her father a tyrant who imprisoned not just his enemies, but his own family. Was Alina's escape a personal rebellion or a political act of defiance? Number 4. Antonio Castro, golf-playing playboy or diplomatic asset? One of Fidel's most publicly visible sons, Antonio Castro Soto del Valle, a doctor by training, has made headlines less for his medical career and more for his extravagant lifestyle. Known as Tony, he played golf in high-end tournaments, vacationed on yachts in the Mediterranean, and was spotted shopping in luxury boutiques in Europe. In 2015, leaked photos of Tony's lavish travels infuriated many Cubans back home, where poverty remained widespread. The Cuban government denied any wrongdoing, claiming Tony represented Cuba with dignity abroad. But can a revolutionary son live like a billionaire without sparking backlash? Do you think Tony's lifestyle insulted the very revolution his father built? Number 5. Alex Castro, Fidel's photographer and image protector. Alex Castro, one of Fidel's sons with his second wife Dalia Soto del Valle, became the unofficial photographer of the aging leader. He published rare photos of Fidel during his final years and curated a version of his father's image, strong, wise, almost mythic. Alex also worked as a photojournalist and remained fiercely loyal to the Cuban regime. Interestingly, while his siblings scattered, Alex stayed in Cuba, becoming part of the inner cultural circle. His work blurred the line between propaganda and artistry. In interviews, Alex said, "My father never liked showing weakness." Number 6. 5 Sons from the Shadows, Dalia Soto del Valle's Quiet Empire. Fidel Castro's longest-standing partner, Dalia Soto del Valle, bore him 5 sons: Alexis, Alexander, Antonio, Alejandro, and Alex. For decades, she remained almost entirely out of the public eye, even as Cuba's first lady in all but name. The 5 sons were raised in near-total secrecy at Fidel's guarded estate, Punto Cero, and educated by private tutors. All are reportedly involved in Cuban government or business operations in some capacity, especially Alejandro Castro Espin, who rose to prominence in intelligence and diplomacy circles. Their coordinated silence appears strategic. But does secrecy equal loyalty or fear? Number 7. Alexis Castro, the ghost son. Of Fidel Castro's 5 sons with Dalia Soto del Valle, Alexis Castro remains the most mysterious. While his brothers Antonio and Alex have appeared in public through sports, photography, or luxury controversies, Alexis has virtually no confirmed public presence. No official photos, no interviews, no political roles. Some reports claim he's involved in quiet business operations tied to Cuba's military-controlled economy. Others suggest he lived abroad under alternate identities. Exile media speculate that Fidel intentionally kept Alexis invisible as a safeguard or a trusted operator behind the scenes. Number 8. Fidel Castro Diaz-Balart, the tragic first son. Fidel Castro's eldest son, Fidel Castro Diaz-Balart, known as Fidelito, was born on September 1, 1949, during Castro's brief marriage to Mirta Diaz-Balart. Educated in the Soviet Union, he earned a PhD in nuclear physics and became head of Cuba's nuclear program in the 1980s. Intelligent and fluent in Russian, Fidelito seemed destined for a major role, but things unraveled. In 1992, Fidel publicly removed him from his post for inefficiency, a rare public humiliation. Though later given scientific advisory roles, Fidelito never escaped his father's shadow. Friends and observers said he carried the weight of expectations but was kept far from real power. On February 1, 2018, he passed away under difficult personal circumstances, after reportedly battling deep depression. State media offered only a short tribute, calling him a brilliant scientist. His life, privileged but constrained, became a symbol of the pressures faced by those born into revolutionary legacies. Number 9. Children abroad, from Canada to Spain. Several of Castro's alleged children reportedly live abroad, in Canada, Spain, Mexico, and the US. While names and identities are often unverifiable, exile communities in Miami and Madrid have long whispered of hidden Castros. One such rumor involves a woman in Canada born to a former interpreter who had a long-term affair with Fidel in the 1970s. Other reports suggest children born during diplomatic missions in Angola and Venezuela. These possible ghost heirs raise questions about inheritance, recognition, and whether they'll ever claim a public identity. Number 10. The lawsuit and the inheritance, who got what? Following Fidel Castro's death in 2016, the Cuban government insisted he left behind no fortune and wanted no monuments. But exile groups and defectors claim otherwise, alleging he had access to hundreds of millions in offshore accounts, residences, and businesses. If true, who inherited it? Reports suggest assets were quietly divided among his sons with Dalia, especially Antonio and Alejandro. Alina Fernandez has publicly claimed she received nothing, calling the legacy a lie built on silence. To this day, no formal will or division has been disclosed.